Good evening, folks. I'm student meteorologist Dylan Leith here.
And I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
We're here to bring you your Friday show. I told you yesterday that we're going to have your last show for the week. Well, here it is. This is the last show for the week. Well, we'll be back on Monday, folks.
And it was another hot one here in Tallahassee, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We're going to talk about Florence. We got a lot to talk about in this show. Friday segments, we got some videos, just different things, but good things nonetheless.
A lot of different type of weather, that's for sure. We're going to be doing a feature on a place in Washington. We'll talk about that soon.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, we've been talking about Florence all week, finally downgraded to a tropical storm, but the impacts are still not gone just because it's a tropical storm now.
Yes, after it made landfall as a Category 1 hurricane.
Yeah. We were watching. Did you watch the live stream of that flag that was out on the coast? We woke up this morning and the flag was no longer there. So unfortunately, that flag has since left due to the winds blowing it off. But right now, we're going to send it over to Megan with an overview of today's show.
Thanks, guys. Let's take an overview of what you can expect for the rest of the show, as well as some current conditions here in Tallahassee. Right now, it's 95, partly cloudy out, but those clouds aren't doing much as far as heat goes. We're feeling like 102 degrees outside tonight, so it's a pretty warm one for you on your Friday. North-northwest wind about 3 miles an hour, so no breeze that's really going to cool us off either. We're looking at our satellite and radar right now. We're seeing Tallahassee's pretty much in a dry spot right here. We did get some showers to our south earlier today, but nothing that really affected our region. No rain to cool us off, and it was a nice, dry, hot Friday for you. If we go ahead and zoom out a little bit, we see what's going on over here in South Texas. They're getting this system over here that could have been a tropical storm, but really now just bringing a lot of rain to the area. And of course up here, we've all heard about it, Florence, downgraded to a tropical storm, still bringing a lot of rain to the Carolina region. We'll be keeping an eye on that. Here's our 3-day forecast for your weekend. We're going to feel in hot, hot, hot every single day in the upper 90s, and our lows are just in the upper 70s, so nothing really nice. Waiting for November. It's around the corner. Cool conditions are on the way, but really not anytime super soon. So hang in there until fall. Here's our headlines. Tropical Storm Florence. We're going to be giving you the rundown on that as we go on through the show. Hot, humid, and mainly dry for your next 3 days, and your FSU football forecast will be on the way as well later in the show. So stay tuned with us. Right now I'm going to send it over to Sarah with a look at what's going on in the tropics.
Thanks, Megan. So bringing it into Florence, really what we're going to be seeing is a lot of advisories out there with flooding concerns, storm surge, and we also, which I'm going to get into in just a minute. So here's Tropical Storm Florence. It did downgrade into a tropical storm, but just because it's a tropical storm doesn't mean there's going to be some advisories still out and about as that eye is lost, but it's still moving over very slowly, going to bring a lot of that storm surge in that rainfall. So right now for tropical advisories, we do have tropical storm warnings out there from North Carolina, south of Elizabeth City, and then all the way down, going all the way down to Charleston in South Carolina, and then also flood alerts. We also have some coastal flooding warnings, flash flood warnings, and also some flash flood watches because of all that rain of Hurricane Florence basically sitting there, impacting a lot of these areas, especially in North Carolina, almost drawing all the way up to Raleigh. So make sure you're aware of those issues over there. So but here's our wave heights currently right now. 20 feet in this green right here, and then going out to 10. But this is why we have a lot of that storm surge of that storm circling a lot of this water out into the coast of North Carolina. There's that storm surge right around that coast, drawing almost a little bit north of Charleston all the way up south of Elizabeth City. Now into our severe weather alerts, we do have tornado watches because with hurricanes and tropical storms, they can produce isolated tornadoes as well. I'm going to point out this one spot right here in that red. That is a tornado warning. So be wary, have your NOAA radios on right now, but just take a deep breath, breathe, and just keep alert for what those alerts out there. Now into Tropical Storm Florence. The one thing that we have to watch out for is going to be lingering into this area, but with the frontal system, it will quickly push out into the northern Atlantic by Sunday, so it's going to be sticking around for this weekend as well. But the other system we're going to be watching out right now is Tropical Storm Isaac, not a tropical depression, Tropical Storm Isaac. It is moving south of the Dominican Republic area. We're going to be watching this system as some models are showing it moving up into the Gulf waters. There it is right now into Monday, but it is predicted to weaken, but we'll keep you up to date on Tropical Storm Isaac. So here's these models, a lot all over the place. We're not really sure where it's going to go. The one we have to worry about is this one moving off into the Gulf, which is going to be in those warmer waters. We may see it rebuild. But if it moves off into land, it most likely will weaken. So we'll keeping you up to date with those spaghetti plots and those models for today. So here we are. We're really quickly moving out these storms. We have Florence right now. We're watching Helene, basically fish storm. Isaac going to be watching right now, and Joyce, which is now a fish storm. But for now, I'm going to send it back over to the desk.
All right, thanks, Sarah. So we have been starting a new segment talking about major cities. Now, this week we are doing Spokane, Washington, but we are going to pick the next city. Megan, you want to pick it?
Yeah, I'll do the honor for sure.
All right.
All right. So, city is Burlington,
Vermont.
Vermont. All right.
So
I was just trying to make it come out for both of us. Sorry.
No, it worked. And so this will be our next city that we do talk about, and we'll do a forecast with that city and the surrounding cities to go with it as well. Have you ever been to Vermont?
I've been to Maine, not Vermont, but
Okay.
the Northeast is a beautiful area.
Yeah.
And I know their climate's a little different than ours, so it's going to be interesting to see what kind of weather they're going to
So I
expect.
guess we'll see what happens with that.
Yeah.
But for now, we are going to head it over back with Dylan.
Thank you very much, guys. We're going to look at Tallahassee right now, and it's currently 95 degrees. That's not cool. It's very, very warm outside, and the feels-like temperature is 102 degrees. We've been seeing this dry air come into our area really heat us up, and we've seen a lot less cloud cover over the last couple of days, actually the last 2 days, and our temperatures are feeling very, very hot as well with it. Looking at current conditions around most of the region, you're staying mostly uniform conditions, very warm temperatures, cooler on the coast though where you get that sea breeze influence, but clearer skies than we've seen the last couple of days. It's not those cloudy, rainy days that we've seen. So it's looking a little better, but we got to give up the temperature. It's feeling much hotter though as a result. And then looking at our dew points as well, still muggy even though that drier air mass that's blowing in from the north is coming into our area. At the lower levels, we're still seeing a lot of moisture and impacts from the Gulf into our area. So that's why these dew points are still relatively high. And then combine the two, and that's your feels like temperature, or the heat index in other words, and look how hot it is around the entire region. We're back to those 100-degree heat indexes, and we're going to see that pattern continue for today, tomorrow, and parts of Sunday. Sunday's when we're going to start to see a little bit of relief, but nothing too major as well. For the satellite and radar, we did see one shower over by East Point and Apalachicola, but in the Leon County region, we're staying relatively dry, and any of these showers that will fire up or have the chance to fire up will dissipate very quickly as the sun starts to set into tonight. Zooming out a little bit, we do see high pressure dominating much of the southeast, and we see tropical storm Florence right now doing that counterclockwise rotation and blowing those northerly winds into our area. Looking at the next 24 hours, we do see cloud cover sticking around and rain showers still present, but these start to fade out. And then into tonight, we're not seeing much cloud cover on the upper levels, and then waking up tomorrow, still no cloud cover, but then that cloud cover comes back, but not a lot of cloud cover sticking around, but luckily not really any showers either, so it's not too bad. For tonight's forecast, cloudy a bit and clearer skies, but still we're looking at almost record-breaking low maximum temperatures. It's going to be very, very hot for a night, only 76 degrees. That's not very cool for a nightly temperature. Then for tomorrow's forecast, more of the same, heat and clear skies and some rain showers over on the coast. And what to expect for your next 7 days, rain chances very minimal on Saturday and Sunday, but as we start your work week back on Monday, we start to see those normal patterns come back, and we see 90 degrees as our highs and 75s as our lows, and 40% chance rains throughout the rest of the week. Now let's send it over to the desk with Megan and Sarah.
Thanks, Dylan. So back into tropical storm Florence, a lot of the main concerns over there is the storm surge and also the coastal flooding. So we're going to kind of talk about what is storm surge, what causes storm surge, and what they're going to be expecting over there with the flooding concerns over there.
Exactly. So the main concern of coastal cities, especially with the impacts of a hurricane, is storm surge, and that can cause a lot of flooding because basic principles of storm surge is the water kind of gets sucked out from that low pressure and then pushed right back on shore with all those heavy winds and as the storm moves over the region. And that pushing of water can really cause a lot of flooding concern for the coastal businesses and houses, etc. So
definitely with that's the height above of the ground. So the warnings do extend for most of North Carolina, going all the way down almost south to Myrtle Beach. So south of Elizabeth City of North Carolina and then all the way down to Myrtle Beach. A lot of places in North Carolina could be seen over a foot or 6 feet of storm surge.
Yeah, and once again, that's the height above the normal tide level. So when they say 6 foot of storm surge, it's 6 foot on top of what the normal
Yes.
tide level already is. So it can get very dangerous, and a lot of meteorologists anticipate this storm surge when they're giving concerns and warnings to coastal region for hurricanes.
And also with all that rain, we're also going to be seeing some coastal flooding as well with those river systems over there. I was seeing some of the models, some of the areas where there was more river systems seeing 9 feet over above sea level.
Yeah.
Or from ground. So very concerning places. We're going to see a lot of stories, I'm sure, about flooding and all that stuff over there.
Yeah, and this is a very slow-moving system. They're saying that the storm is moving about as fast as somebody walks. So
yeah.
it's not going anywhere anytime soon. It's moving slowly over the region. So like going to be getting a lot of water and rain and flooding and build up.
So stay safe out there. Just take a deep breath. Make sure you're up to date with the alerts on your NOAA radio, whatever you have, and just stay safe. But for now, we're going to send it over to the wall with Sammy.
All right, thanks guys. So this is currently a viewer video that we're showing. This came in near Raleigh, North Carolina. So you can really start to see those effects of that tropical storm now. So our current conditions across the coast, you can see, of course, here in Tallahassee, we are very warm on the map with 95 degrees. If you start walking towards Louisiana, you can see those temperatures start to go down a little bit. New Orleans is 89 with Shreveport at 87. And into Texas, those temperatures are right around the high 70s. They actually have a front that just came through. We'll talk about that quite soon, though. The current dew points are mostly in the 70s. Now, it's pretty sticky with that humid air. So pretty much all around the southeast, you could see these all in the 70s. Jackson, Mississippi, 71, New Orleans, also 73. Pretty much everyone is feeling these hot, humid feels like right now. Over in El Paso, you can see that is 36. They are very dry compared to what we are experiencing here in Tallahassee. Our current heat index is showing temperatures, look at that, in the low 100s. That is very hot. We were definitely feeling those hot temperatures earlier today, and those will start to go down in the night. Pretty much all around the southeast, they are all feeling very hot, even in Nashville with 95 degrees. So that is feeling very hot. You could see these winds that were coming out of the south. Now, the big story we're talking about is that low pressure system over near the southern portion of Texas, and of course a tropical storm with that counterclockwise motion. So there's lots of spots of rain right now, especially within the next 24 hours, while Tallahassee is nice and clear. But for now, we're going to take it over with Dylan, who's going to talk about the national. Dylan?
Thank you very much, Sammy. We're going to take a look at the national look, and our current temperatures, or our current dew points throughout is showing where the moisture is and where the moisture isn't. We have clear conditions on the western part of the country. Farther east, we got all this moisture. It's still summer, folks. We're not in that fall season. Fall starts September 22nd. It's still technically summer. It's kind of feeling like summer on the eastern part. On the western part, it's a little cooler and a little less moist, so not too bad as well. Current wind patterns, we do see where this stalled out front is located. Then farther down south into Texas, we do see that low pressure system we've been talking about. And then on the east coast, we also see Tropical Storm Florence in that counterclockwise rotation. You see a lot of varying winds in the Central Plains, and that's due to that high pressure system not really dominating the flow, just kind of pushing winds in any direction. Here's our surface analysis, and we do see these two fronts stretch down over in through the northern part of the country. Clear high pressure in the central part, and then on the eastern part, the two tropical systems we've been tracking these last couple of days. And to zoom in just a bit, we're going to look at Tropical Storm Florence affecting North Carolina right now. We do have some strong storms embedded in this, and we did see a tornado on the radar. Our radar indicated tornado right now, and this is moving in and dumping a lot of rain, and it's not expected to move for the next couple, or for not much in the next day or two. It's just going to move a bit southward and then off into the northern part with that frontal system moving its way down. Now going into Texas, we do see Corpus Christi seeing a lot of rain as the system has been there since yesterday and will continue to be there for the next 2 days as well, dumping a lot of rain on southern Texas. And with that, you do have these flood watches in the dark greens. In the lighter greens, you have a flash flood watch as well. This red right here is a flood warning. So this is all going on, and they're not going to see much relief throughout the weekend. Into the work week, we'll start to see the storm move out. Going into the northern part, here is the front that will move Tropical Storm Florence off into the northeast and finally move it out of the U.S. So we're hoping that these start moving together, combine, and then finally move that move that tropical storm off the coast. Then going into our next 24 hours, we do see Florence over there, the tropical system down in the south, and we start to see Florence kind of dissipate in intensity over the next 24 hours, which is expected. And then we see this storm, the low pressure system down in Texas start to dissipate as well. And as we go on later into tomorrow, we start to see a little bit of resurgence in Florence, but not as well defined shape. And then this tropical system not as well defined, but still present and dropping a bit of rain. Looking at our game against Syracuse, here's our temperature. Hopefully we win. Hopefully it's not a disappointment. 81 degrees. This is an indoor game, so temperature not a real factor. But if you are tailgating out there, this is what you're going to expect for those conditions. Not too bad of a day. Definitely better than our 90-degree temperatures here. Looking at tomorrow, your forecast is looking like another warm day throughout most of the country. You're going to see a rain-cooled spot over in the Carolinas, and that's due to Florence dropping a lot of rain and making it feel cooler, but it's not necessarily a nice feeling outside. You don't want to go outside for sure. And then much of the state in this country in the dark red, rain situated throughout Texas. And on the eastern coast, a bit cooler, not too bad. Seattle, again, seeing rain. Portland, seeing rain. This is typical pattern we've been seeing. Not much relief in sight in terms of changes. But right now, we're going to look at a research video with Dr. John Ahlquist and Jake Karstens.
John Ahlquist is one of FSU Meteorology's longest tenured faculty members, and has been particularly influential with the undergraduate student community at Florida State over the years. He has served as an advisor to our local American Meteorological Society chapter, and is the man behind everything you see with the FSU Weather Show today. Dr. Ahlquist shared with us his background and what led him to where he is now.
From about the time I was in 6th grade on, the goal was to get a PhD in physics and work in electronics. I got an amateur radio license along the way. When I was in college as a physics and math major, some of the amateur radio magazines started having articles about build your own weather satellite receiving station. So I thought, wow, that would be neat to pick up satellites. So I did it as a radio project. I never got a good picture out of it, but I could hear the satellite. It was also exciting to be able to compute when the satellite would be above the horizon and actually have it work out that you could hear the satellite. Well, that got me interested in meteorology because meteorology's got computers and satellites. So I decided that's what I wanted to do.
Aside from his aforementioned contributions to the department, Dr. Ahlquist also remains involved on the research side. We asked him about some of the major topics that he tries to address in his work.
For research, there are 3 broad areas that I'm interested in. One tends to be more theoretical. One is related to the Indian summer monsoon, and the other is related to large-scale 2-week kind of things that's at the limit of what you can predict in terms of what's going on. The theoretical kinds of things, the biggest area that's easy to explain has to do with what's called predictability. Anybody can issue a forecast arbitrarily far into the future. I can say that 7,000 years from now, the temperature at noon is going to be 93 degrees and it's going to rain a half an inch that day. The question is, does that have any meaning or not? Predictability is the subject area that tries to estimate the confidence that you can place on a forecast so that people know whether it has any meaning or not. The Indian summer monsoon is a big interest to me because so much of what happens in the tropics is influenced by the weather events around India. And I'm still interested in these larger scale waves that go around the Earth every couple weeks. It's on the limit of what you can predict also.
In recent years, Dr. Ahlquist has taught several courses at FSU, ranging from Introduction to Meteorology to undergraduate courses in atmospheric dynamics, as well as data analysis for graduate students. For many young students, he is one of the first people to introduce them to our field, and his teaching and mentorship have gone a long way in developing the professionals that come out of the FSU Meteorology program every year.
Karstens. So now we are going to take a look at Spokane. Now this is Washington. So if you look at all the surrounding cities, here is Spokane, 70 degrees right now, feeling a lot cooler than we are here in Tallahassee. If you go more north of Spokane, you can see Flowery Trail is around 66 degrees, as well as Kettle Falls is sitting at 68 degrees right now. Their dew points are feeling very low. Look at these, 41, 36. They have more of a dry heat, although it is not that hot compared to what we are experiencing. They have that more of a western dry heat feeling. So looking at our wind speed and direction now, it's mostly coming from the south, just a light breeze, so what they're feeling right now. The radar is showing just a few passing clouds over in this area. Now, there could be a chance of a shower due to this low pressure system over off to the northwest. Now, that will make its way in through tomorrow, and they may get a passing shower too early on in the morning. Now, you can see here is the next 24 hours, so you can see just some passing clouds, maybe that shower, but nothing too severe. Those temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s and lowering all the way down to 47 through tomorrow morning. That's feeling very cool, and I wish we had I wish Tallahassee got to experience that, but not yet. Now, the wind throughout the next 24 hours, not too much, pretty calm throughout the majority of the night, and it will stay calm into tomorrow as well. For tonight's forecast over in Washington, you can see Spokane is going to be 47 degrees. We also have Newport at 43 degrees, so you're feeling very cool tonight over in that area. Now into tomorrow's forecast, these temperatures are going to be in the mid-60s. So they were in the 70s today, and into tomorrow they are going to be dropping a little bit lower, but it's going to be nice and sunny for the majority of the day into tomorrow. Now, this is our state, or not our state of the week, our city of the week, Spokane, and next week we will feature our next city as well. But for now, we're going to pass it over at the desk.
Thank you very much, Sammy. We're going to take a look at some local events that are going around Tallahassee. We have a little bit in store for you. Nothing. This is just a nice, quiet weekend in Tallahassee. So any home improvement, this might not be a bad weekend as well.
Yeah, definitely. We have one where it's Keep Tallahassee / Leon County Beautiful. We have like 37 lakes and holding ponds that people are going to go out and clean those to make them look beautiful again.
Yeah, definitely. We want to protect our environment, and we want our lakes for tourists and anyone just going to experience. You don't want to see trash when you go to the lakes on the weekend. So you want to see beautiful local communities. You folks at home, if you wanted to, you could come as well. The event takes place from 8 to 11 a.m.
Yep. So families, groups, you can get a group together. You can do like your organization or clubs, or even just bring yourself and come to the event.
Yeah, you can pick up supplies at Atkins Global on North Monroe Street. All supplies for cleaning up are provided in a map as well, so you're not just going out there picking up random trash. They're giving you some information as well.
Yeah, definitely. So it'll be really fun to do that to help our community, and also just kind of do something for the weekend if you have nothing really planned.
Yeah, something else that's going on just about when the show's over. FSU versus UNC. Number 2 FSU versus number 6 UNC in women's soccer. We are on fire this year.
Yeah, with soccer we are, so that's one thing. We're doing well in some athletic.
We're now a softball school, and now a soccer school.
Sweet.
No longer a football school, so, but now we're going to send it over to Wall with Megan.
All right, thanks so much, guys. One last look at our local temperatures, starting with our almanac here in Tallahassee. Actual high today was 95, low 75. We're a little bit above that average here, 89 for our typical average and 69 for our typical low. Kind of hovering near that record temperature, 98 in 1991, so it was a pretty hot one out there for you today. Current conditions right now, like I talked about earlier, still 95, still feeling like 102, so not cooling off yet. If you're going out on your Friday evening, maybe wear some shorts or pack a light jacket for later and wear the tank top right now because it's pretty hot out there. Here's our current conditions for the Big Bend region. We're sitting in the 90s throughout the entire region, 95 here in Tallahassee, 88 up here in Blakely, so it's getting a little bit cooler as you go north, but really hovering in the low 90s throughout most of the region for you on your Friday evening. Current dew points right there in the 70s. Pretty similar story throughout the regions. Feeling pretty humid out there for you. 72 Thomasville, 75 Quincy, 68 Bainbridge. So similar story throughout the entire region tonight. Wind speed and direction, here's the key right now. We do see this wind convergence right here throughout the center of the Big Bend region. We see the north winds, the south winds coming together, and oftentimes we do see some storms associated with that convergence, and we'll see what happened with that. We saw some storms here near East Point today, south of Tallahassee, and those convergence of the winds did make those pop-up storms more prevalent through the region, but Tallahassee stayed dry today, so that was a nice Friday. Next 24 hours, we can start to see some pop-up showers. Can't rule out a few as we move through the next 24 hours into your weekend, but for the most part, we're staying pretty dry, so it's going to be a nice hot weekend for you guys. Maybe hit the beach or pool. Here's your temperature forecast. Changing, look at that. Here we see temperatures dropping down in the 70s. We started with the mid to upper 90s, and we're dropping down into the 70s for Saturday evening around 8 o'clock. So it's going to be a nice Saturday evening. Maybe make some outdoor plans with some friends and family. It's going to stay dry, so no need to pack that umbrella. Moving into Saturday evening, we do see Saturday evening, we do see the temperatures going back into the 90s. So similar story for your Friday evening. Here's a look at our heat index forecast. Through the next 24 hours, things do shape up to be very hot. Look at these, into the triple digits here in St. Mark's and almost reaching the triple digits in Tallahassee. So heat index is really showing us what it feels like outside, so it's feeling a lot hotter than it actually is. So make sure you're being prepared with the clothes, the wardrobe, and the water. Moving into tonight's forecast briefly, we'll see 73 degrees, muggy night, light wind, and tomorrow we can expect 96-degree conditions, very hot and humid for your Saturday, so maybe hang in that AC like me, or you can go and dip in the water. It's going to be hot outside. Golf forecast for you. We see tomorrow at 8 a.m. it's going to be 77, noon around 90, and 94 as we move into tomorrow afternoon. So it's going to be a nice golf day. Make sure you pack the hat and sunscreen if you're going to hit the course tomorrow. Here's your marine forecast. 88 degrees, light winds, smooth seas. Going to be a beautiful beach day if you're going out tomorrow. FSU versus Sanford tomorrow. Kickoffs at 7:20. Possible storm before sunset, so if you're tailgating, be aware of that. Light wind as well. Here's your 7-day forecast. Hot every day. Slight rain chances throughout the midweek, but those highs are staying pretty oppressive. Let's close things off at the desk.
We are definitely blue here at the desk.
Yes.
Not feeling blue, though.
No, not at all. We kind of want the temperatures to kind of match our dresses in that cooler tone, but we're going to be sitting hot, so make sure you stay hydrated. Always reapply that sunscreen for the weekend.
Yeah, those temperatures are mainly in the 90s throughout the rest of the week.
Saturday, yo.
Very hot.
96, that's hot. So guys, for real, like, make sure you stay hydrated. Make sure you apply that sunscreen if you're going out to the pool.
And hey, there's no chance of rain for Saturday, which is kind of a rare thing to see in late summer here in Tallahassee, but those temperatures are definitely making up for it, so.
Yeah, definitely. And then for the week ahead, we will have some lower, like maybe some more scattered showers still in the mix, but still at 40%. It's going to remain hot since we're not going to have the relief of the rain.
Hopefully soon we'll get those temperatures that match our dresses.
Yeah, we did not do this on purpose.
Yeah, no.
But yes, but definitely follow us on all our social media pages. We have Twitter, so follow us on Twitter.
We also have Facebook, so make sure you're liking us on Facebook to see all of our updates.
And we are live on YouTube, so from Monday through Friday, watch us on live on youtube.com.
And follow us on Instagram at FSU Weather.
Yeah, send us definitely your pics if you're going out. Make sure you're showing us how you're staying hydrated with your water bottle if you're going out to the pool. So have fun for your weekend, definitely.
So, happy Friday, and I'm student meteorologist Sammy Squires.
And I'm student meteorologist Sarah Converse. Have a great night.